HTML headings. HTML headings are titles or subtitles that you want to display on a web page. And we already saw this example in the previous video, so we're gonna go to our Visual Studio Code. I have an empty file. You can name it whatever you want. I name it test.html. So what you wanna do is type or just press shift and then exclamation mark. So it's gonna create a template for us. We save it, and right now we are in headings. HTML headings. HTML headings are defined with the H1 to H6 tags. So the H1 heading 1 defines the most important heading. H6 defines the least important heading. And remember, you have to put it inside angle brackets. So we're gonna have these examples. We're gonna grab these examples. We're gonna go to Visual Studio Code. And okay, so Visual Studio Code here. Okay, so it's gonna be we're gonna save it, and now we can go to our HTML file and right click and open it with Live Server, or just press Alt+L, Alt+O, and there you have heading 1, heading 2, all the way up to heading 6. And as you can see, as the number increases, the text gets smaller. The size of the text decreases, is inversely proportional. So that is that. Browsers automatically add some white space and margin before and after a heading. Headings are important. Search engines use the headings to index the structure and content of your web pages. Users often scan a page by its headings. It is important to use headings to show the document structure. The H1 headings should be used for main headings, followed by H2 headings, then the less important H3 headings, and so on. Use HTML headings for headings only. Don't use headings to make text big or bold. We have a style for that, so we have bigger headings. Each HTML heading has a default size. However, you can specify the size of any heading with the style attribute using using CSS font size property. So we're gonna see this example. I'm just gonna grab it and I'm gonna go to Visual Studio Code. I'm gonna close this one. I'm gonna go to just here, so in line 11. So I'm gonna save it, and here we have inside angle brackets an H1, and we have a style attribute this time, and we're gonna assign it inside double quotes font size colon, and we're gonna have a 60 pixel, and the message or the content is gonna be heading 1. Let's put it heading 0 since we already have a heading 1 here. We save it, and there you have it, heading 6 with 60 pixels. So I can make it, I don't know, 100 pixels, so it's gonna go even bigger. Heading 0, let's just leave it in, or let's put it 10 pixel. Now it's gonna be really small, you can barely see it. So now let's just leave it at 60 pixels. So that's how you do that. The style attribute, so you put a style is assigned to double quotes font hyphen size colon, and then the number of pixels that you want, that you think is correct. So that is that, and we have the HTML tag reference. So we already saw this too. Inside the angle brackets we have the HTML, the body, and then we have the H1 to H6. The HTML, the description, defines the root of an HTML document. The body defines the document's body, and then you have the H1 up to the H6 defines the HTML headings. And as you can see here, we have the HTML, and we also, this is a start tag, and this is the end tag, and you have the end tag because it has an slash here. You have the head, and then you have the body, and inside of the body this time we're using the H1. So that is that for headings. Now we're gonna go to HTML paragraphs. And we already saw a couple of examples in paragraphs. A paragraph always starts on a new line and is usually a block of text. So HTML paragraphs. The HTML p inside angle brackets element defines a paragraph. A paragraph always starts on a new line, and browsers automatically add some white space, a margin, before and after a paragraph. So we're gonna check out this example. We go to Visual Studio Code. I'm just gonna delete this. I'm just gonna paste it here. So now we're gonna have two paragraphs. So this is a paragraph, and the second one is gonna be, this is another paragraph. And this is what we get here. Okay, that is that. HTML display. You cannot be sure how HTML will be displayed. Large or small screens and resized windows will create different results. With HTML, you cannot change the display by adding extra spaces or extra lines in your HTML code. The browser will automatically remove any extra spaces and lines when the page is displayed. So here, for example, we have these two paragraphs, and as you can see, we have spaces here. We have a big chunk of spaces, but the browser is gonna ignore it. So I'm just gonna grab this example. We're gonna go to Visual Studio Code, and I'm just gonna paste it, save it, and as you can see, those spaces, those chunks of spaces are being ignored. So now we're gonna go to this page. HTML horizontal rules. The inside angle brackets HR tag defines a thematic break in an HTML page and is most often displayed as a horizontal rule. The HR element is used to separate content or define a change in an HTML page. So here we have an example. We're gonna grab it and just gonna delete this one. So I'm gonna paste it. I'm gonna fix it a little bit with a tab. Okay, so we're using the HR, and if you mouse it over it, here you can read the HR element represents a paragraph labeled thematic break, e.g. a scene change in a story or a transition to another topic within a section of a reference book. And what's gonna happen is it's gonna create two lines, two horizontal lines. That is that. The HR tag is an empty tag, which means that it has no end tag, so there's no need to put a /HR. HTML line breaks. The HTML BR element defines a line break. Use BR if you want a line break, a new line without starting a new paragraph. So we have this example. We're gonna paste it here, save it, and now we have this is a paragraph with line breaks. So this is, and after that it's gonna break. A paragraph is gonna break again with line breaks. So if we go to our page, I'm gonna make it a little bigger. So this is, then you put the BR, so it's breaking a paragraph, so it's breaking again, and then another BR with line breaks, another BR with line breaks. So that is that. The BR tag is an empty tag, which means that it has no end tag as with the HR tag. So that is that. The poem problem. This poem will display on a single line. Okay, so if you would like to have, I don't know, 4 lines for this poem, if you just type it like that in your code, it's just gonna be one line. We go to our website, we have only one line. So how can we fix it? The solution: the HTML inside angle brackets pre-element. The HTML pre-element defines pre-formatted text. The text inside of a pre-element is displayed in a fixed width font, usually Carrier, and it preserves both spaces and line breaks. So what we're gonna do, instead of just the P for paragraph, we're gonna put pre, that stands for the pre element defined. So pre-formatted text. So we're gonna grab it. We're gonna grab this example and we're gonna see it. Or you can just add the PR. Just put PR here, and now we save it, and let's see what happens. Oh, now it fixed it. Instead of having just one line, now we have 4 lines of code, so it looks nicer. So that is that. And then we have the HTML tag reference, the P inside angle brackets. We have defines a paragraph, the HR inside brackets defines a thematic change in the content, BR inside brackets inserts a single line break, and the pre inside brackets defines a pre-formatted text.